Hi, I'm Chuck, KK6USY. Welcome to Ham Radio Ventures. Today we're going to review a product that every ham should have in their ham shack, and that is crimpers. Now I'm going to show you two different types of crimpers. One for crimping just regular terminals and one for doing wires so that when you put wires into a receptacle, it'll actually not fray the wires out. So let's check this out. But first of all, I'd like to thank the good folks over at Kaiweets for sending me these two crimpers so that I could show them to you guys and review them and let you know how they work. As usual, they're not paying me for the review. They sent me the products to review, and they won't see my video before I post it, and they have no input onto what I'll say in the video. Everything is my own opinions. So let's get to it and check these things out. So this is the box that the Kaiweets crimpers came in. This is the front of the box. The back of the box actually has basically what came inside was the instruction booklet, and this is basically the instruction booklet. I don't have it. I misplaced it, but really didn't have a whole lot of information. And apparently these are for insulated or heat shrink only. We're going to talk about that, but I only like one of the things. Let me show you the pliers and how they were packaged inside. Sorry for the glare off the plastic. We'll get rid of that in a minute. So it came like this. These two sets of jaws were in these two boxes. I already have one in because I want to show you how to use this. I forget sometimes this may be the first time they've ever used these things. So I'm going to try and explain everything as much as possible. Let me pull these out and get rid of this because it's kind of a glare. Now you've got the Kaiweets branding. It's got this is to adjust how much it crimps. I played with that and I don't really think it made much difference. I find these really hard to get to the final crimp, especially with these jaws. You might actually use a bigger one. I don't like these jaws. I'll just get right down to it. These are for where it showed on the box where they were insulated but they're heat shrink. I think the other ones work better. Now to change these, we're going to pop this open, and to change this, there's a button right on top here. Let me show that to you. There we go. You just push that, and if you watch this, it pops out. All right. Same thing on the bottom. I'm going to change these because I don't really care for those jaws, to be honest. So I'm going to put this one in. You push it in, click it in. Same thing here. Push it in and click it. And then to use these, what you're going to do is you're going to clamp them down. They're ratcheting. And when you go all the way to the bottom, they'll pop out. These work really well. This is 26 gauge wire. It's a little bit small for these ring terminals, but I think this will still work. You're just going to stick this in here, get the wire in there, and then you're just going to bring it all the way down until it unlocks, and then it'll open up, and that in a pretty nice crimp. And it's holding it pretty good. All right, I don't think it'll come loose. A lot of times I'll solder these anyhow, and a lot of times I would take the red part off and use heat shrink, regular heat shrink, and that would be heat shrink something like this. This is a glue lined heat shrink, but that's not how these are made to work. These are not for, and that would be without the red on there. These are not for non-insulated. These are for insulated only. We're going to do the same thing. This time I'm going to put this in here and line it up. And what I want to do is get it right to the edge there. You can see that. I'm going to turn it this way here. We get just a little pressure in it. Then I can stick. This is 22 gauge. So this is actually made for this. This red terminal, that's where this one starts. So I pull the wire back inside. It takes me 2 hands. And once you get it all the way down, it does the nice crimp there. And that's a nice one. Okay. Now, like I told you guys on this one, if you look at these, they crimp really, really tight, and that's supposedly for this one. It also, if you look at it, it has 2 sets. And that's what I don't like about this. You have a front set and a back set on all, so there's 6 different crimping sizes here. I've never really seen one like that before. If you look at this side, they're a little bit bigger. Sorry, the silver doesn't work very good. If you look at this side, they're a little bit smaller. I have a hard time crimping these things down because it goes down so far. And sometimes you have to release these, when they get in here like this, sometimes you actually have to push it down a little bit and then get your finger in here. Let me see if I can do it from the bottom. And that will release it. This is supposed to adjust that. I didn't notice it really adjusting. So these work pretty good on this one. I don't like this one. That's just my thing. Sorry, Kaiweets. I don't. If the instruction booklet was better, I'm misunderstanding something. But if we look at the back of the box again, this is what it showed. This is what the instruction booklet had. It basically showed crimping with the ones like I did. And actually they're using these. And you can see it going in there, but I didn't really like those. I did crimp one that way. So here's a crimp the way it usually crimps it, right? When I did it this way, if you look at it, it double crimps. And I don't quite understand why it wants to do that. It probably did smash it better. About the same. So, I don't know. So much for these. Now the other product they sent me was, this is a wire crimping tool. It was what they call it. It's a Ferrule. Okay, and Ferrule, we'll show you in a second here. This is a Ferrule. I already did one. On 22 gauge, on 20 gauge wire, I think it was. 22, I think that's 26 gauge. And it did a really nice job. It won't pull off there. What this is for is, instead of just putting bare wires into a screw where you know, something, this is not really it, but if something that, let's see, maybe this does have it. Okay, here we go. Now say you're going to put instead of just putting your wires in that, see the hole? What you would do is do a ferrule like this, and then stick this through the hole, and then your wires won't get all frayed, and then tighten it down. I use these all the time on my solar controller, because I don't want the wires going everywhere. So let me show you what it comes with. All right, it comes with like a little wire stripper. And basically you press it down and it has different sizes there. Let's just see if it works. This wire is really easy to do. So you're just going to put this in here. I think what you do is you press it down, turn it, and then pull it, and it worked pretty good. Not my first choice of a wire stripper, but it did good. At least it comes with that if you don't have anything with you when you're out someplace, and it'll work really well. All right, then it comes with these, and basically what these do, if you watch the middle here, okay, see, this is locked basically. Let's see, like that, and that's where it goes in the case. We press it all the way in. Here, let me do that again. Watch this right here. When I press it all the way in, that releases, and now it'll open. Now you see these jaws? That's what crushes it, and it crushes a square. So let's just find, let's see. What you want to do is get the one closest to your wire. Let's just do a red one here. Let's see if that goes in there. The wire goes in. And I could have stripped it just a little bit farther, but that'll work. All you do is insert it in here, up to the red part, like that, and just pull it, and it crushes it. And that was a nice, that was a nice crimp. It's not going anywhere. All right. Sometimes I'll pull these off. You can pull these off. You can cut them off if I don't want them, and then maybe I'll do some regular heat shrink. But they will pull off. That part will pull off sometimes. Okay. It comes with various sizes, all the way up to the yellow sizes. These little red ones. These, this is probably like for something like a 32 gauge or something, really small. All right, and they've got the really, really big ones here, it looks like. Maybe some 12 gauge. Work really well. And what happens, like, when you have your wire and it doesn't have an end on it, I've got another piece of wire here. Now this is not stranded wire, but stranded wire has a tendency to separate when you push the screw in, and you won't get a good contact. When it's in this, the contact, what it does is ends up crushing. It'll end up crushing this, and that actually will hold, and all your wires are inside. So that's a really good way to do anything that goes into some type of a place where the wire has to go. And it's not really good. So, you could, if your wires are long enough and they fray out, they could contact the positive to the negative. It probably won't happen, but it could. And this kind of keeps everything in order so it won't do something like that. So like I said before, you just basically put that down like that, put the wire stripper back in and close it, and everything's contained. This one works really, really good. Super easy to crush it with one hand, no problem. Not so much with the other one, but it does work, and it does crimp well, like I showed you here. This is the double crimp one. I mean, that thing's crimped. It also crimps the back of it too, which I guess in a way is not too bad. So that's just a quick overview of what these crimpers were. This one works really good for insulated like this. I mean, that's a hard wire to crimp, and it's not coming out. Now there will be links in the description below if you want to buy these. It does help the channel, so appreciate it when you do buy it. If you would do that, it is no extra cost to you guys. It's just a discount that they give. And there may be a discount in the description also, so make sure you look for that. And anytime you buy anything off my Amazon store, make sure you look for coupons, because that saves you 5 to 10, 15% sometimes. Okay, there we go. All right, so both of these worked pretty good. I don't like the one-sided jaws like I mentioned on the crimpers. I did like the one style that I showed you that I did like, and they worked very well. 26 gauge wire is pretty hard to crimp, and those they don't really make, well, at least I've never bought any that were small enough for 26 gauge. And by crimping those down and not letting go, that's pretty good. Now the other ones worked really, really good. I have another pair of these by another maker, and they don't seem to crimp quite as nice as these. The Kaiweets work really good. So hopefully this video was help to you. If it was, please hit the like. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, hit all. That way you'll get all my future videos. I'm Chuck, KK6USY. This is Ham Radio Ventures. Thank you for spending your time with me today. 73 all, and hope to get you on the airwaves.